What made the Broncos meeting with Michael Penix Jr. so different? Plus, we have to talk about Nikola Jokic and the Colorado Avalanche. There's plenty to get into. Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for March 1st. Holy smokes. March Madness is so soon. All right, let's do this. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel Vigil.
Every single QB that the Broncos have met with so far at the Combine may give some hope that they could possibly be moving up. Caleb Williams is on the list, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix. But we know that they interviewed Michael Penix Jr., and he talked this morning about why his interview with the Broncos was so interesting. Take a listen.
Yeah, they were tough. They were tough. They was trying to, they put up a lot of bad plays, but it's good, because, and at the next level it's hard. It's hard to win, I understand that. And, I feel like in ways that he was probably trying to see how I reacted, to those bad plays, if I could take accountability and stuff like that. And, I'm always going to do that, I'm always going to put others before me, and I'm going to be honest about everything.
Showing him all of his bad plays is definitely an interesting way to go about it. But I do think that there is a sense of, one, you're going to learn a lot about somebody by the way they handle it and they take responsibility for any of their bad plays. Makes me wonder if they didn't see that with Russell Wilson at times this season. And also, I just think that, when you're kind of getting critiqued that way and you're able to handle yourself in such a responsible manner, even if you do have bad plays, I think that you can gain a lot of respect. I found it to be fascinating that the Broncos went about that. He obviously mentioned some of the other teams that he met with, saying it was different. So let me know how you feel about Sean Payton, George Payton, showing Michael Penix Jr. all of his bad plays. And now I'm wondering too, did that happen for other quarterbacks, or was it because there was a few bad plays for Michael Penix Jr. across the season? It's definitely interesting. In case you were wondering, again, we can look at a list of everybody that we know so far that the team has in fact met with. We've got linebackers, defensive linemen, tight ends, lots of quarterbacks. Obviously, one that is not on this list is Spencer Rattler. That is one that a lot of people are starting to talk about. That could be like a second day option for the Denver Broncos. So there's plenty of names out there, but definitely stay tuned to denversports.com. Cecil Lammy's going to join me at 12 p.m. for coffee break to sit down and chat about all of the interviews from this morning as well. So it'll definitely be interesting. Again, denversports.com for plenty of stuff. But the NFL Scouting Combine is a place for NFL hopefuls to show off their speed, their strength, their skills. I'm really excited for tomorrow to see what the wide receivers, the quarterbacks, and everybody can do. But there are some, things can get a little weird out there when you get conspiracy theories involved, and they tend to ask players all sorts of questions. Now, I want you to meet Texas Tech defensive back Tyler Owens, who told reporters that he doesn't believe in space. That is correct. Owen says he doesn't believe other planets exist and said the flat earth theories are kind of interesting and make some quote unquote valid points. It's unlikely that Owen's views on astronomy will keep him from an NFL career. He's expected to run one of the fastest 40 times at the Combine this year. But then we've also got this one. Illinois tight end Tip Redmond told reporters on Thursday that he is a member of the Birds Aren't Real movement. Birds aren't simply creatures found in nature, but perhaps devices that serve a darker purpose. He goes on to say, have you ever seen a baby pigeon? How do we know that power lines aren't pigeon recharging stations? Interesting enough right there, all on its own. I'll just leave it at that. And then one other weird thing that ended up happening at the Combine this year. Wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. was scheduled to speak at the Combine, but he never showed up. I'm like, why didn't he? There are rumors obviously speculating about why he didn't come and do his press conference and such, but I do find that to be a little interesting. So between the two conspiracy theories and then Marvin Harrison Jr. not showing up to speak, it was like, this Combine is just really weird all in itself. All right, let's look ahead to the next minute that is presented by Smashburger. It's our Mile High Minute. Nuggets versus Heat. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a game last night. But we'll start actually before the game even begins. Thomas Bryant had a tribute to him, obviously being a part of the championship team right before he got his ring. And I'm not going to lie, the video was pretty much just him being hype on the bench, which we love a supporting player in this cast. But KCP gave him his ring before all the players showed him some love. Take a listen.
TD13, Thomas Bryant. The Denver Nuggets would like to say thank you for all of your contributions on and off the court, along with
Joe Sakic was also in the building for the Nuggets game last night, which I find to be a little interesting because his team was indeed also playing last night. We'll get into the Colorado Avalanche here in just a little bit. But otherwise, the drama that came out of the Nuggets Heat game came right before half, and it's when Jamal Murray goes down. He had a beautiful pass to Nikola Jokic pretty much right from behind the back, but then he accidentally stepped on AG's ankle, and he is listed with a right ankle sprain at this point. They made the decision to not allow him to come back into the second half, and Michael Malone spoke on it after the game.
First off, have you gotten a chance to talk with Jamal yet since
quickly at halftime and quickly after the game. Obviously, I talked to him right at the half, and he thought he was going to be able to try to maybe give it a go, see how it warmed up, and just wasn't responding the way he had hoped. So I think it was a smart decision, not to have him out there, just trying to be as careful as possible at this point of the season. And that's why I give our other guys credit. Reggie stepped up. CB is our backup point guard in the second half. And the most impressive thing for me is, that's 5 wins in a row. The first 4 were kind of like, ball was flying, we're getting running. And tonight was...
Losing Jamal Murray definitely hurts, but it was great to see other players stepped up. MPJ with a fantastic night. However, we know Michael Malone isn't his main priority is not to get the number 1 seed in the West by any means. Would he love to have home court for rounds 1 and 2? Absolutely. But his main concern is making sure that this team is nice and healthy. So having Jamal Murray go down definitely hurts them. Now, do I think that this is going to be something that keeps Jamal Murray out of the playoffs? Absolutely not. They still have 20-something games left. But I do think that they're going to have to be very strategic with how they begin playing their starters. That way, nobody else gets hurt and they can get healthy into the playoffs too. Jamal Murray, it sounds bad to say, you guys, he's very fragile. And I'm always worried, and I'm glad that this is hopefully something that's not very serious. But I just am like, you need a healthy Jamal Murray out there, because when the starting 5 is out there, there's no way that anybody can beat them. Knock on all the wood right now before anybody comes for me. But they need a healthy Jamal Murray out there. So I do think we're going to start seeing a lot of bench players that are going to be coming into the game. That way, nobody else gets hurt. They can just keep everybody healthy and fresh, etc. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Michael Malone handles this moving forward and how long Jamal Murray, of course, will be out. Now, Colorado Avalanche, they were taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. There's a few things that happened last night. First of all, McKinnon moves up in the record books, 3rd most assists in franchise history with 539, passing the great Peter Forsberg. Cale Makar became the first defenseman in franchise history to record multiple 50-assist seasons. And then in the very end of the game, Nathan McKinnon with a beautiful breakaway. He's able to put one in the back of the net, making it 100 points for Nate the Great. It was the first career shutout for Annunen, so maybe the Avs do have their backup goalie. He looked pretty good last night, I'm not going to lie. Now, the Chicago Blackhawks aren't an amazing team by any means, but he looked pretty solid, and we know during the Cup run when the Avs obviously won, they needed a backup goalie. So can Annunen be that guy for him? It'll definitely be interesting. And then the most important stat, 5 Avs were able to get on the board last night for the 5-0 win over the Blackhawks. So plenty of good stuff there. Last thing on this too, the trade deadline is so close, everybody. So definitely start to pay attention to all of the trade rumors that you're going to see out there. Things are going to start heating up, hopefully for this Colorado Avalanche team, and they can get just a few more extra pieces, hopefully that they can get for the push to the playoffs and beyond. So, of course, always love seeing all of that Avs content, and I'm so glad they were able to get a win on the road. Now, the supposed star of the Colorado Rockies is all but saying he regrets inking the largest free agent deal in club history just 2 years after signing it. Chris Bryant, he opened up to The Athletic on Thursday morning, and he shared that he wishes his free agency ahead of the 2022 season had played out differently. If you're a Colorado Rockies fan, you are definitely like, ouch, that one hurts a little bit. Bryant ended up in Colorado on a 7-year, $182 million deal, and I'm not going to lie, when this deal first came out, I was thinking one of two things. Why the heck would Chris Bryant want to come to the Colorado Rockies besides money and good deals? But also, I was like, maybe he's seeing something that we're not seeing. I found it to be a little bit interesting. And now this is kind of just confirming that, nope, it was all about the money. He was not looking about what this Colorado Rockies team was able to actually do or what his future would look like. So more importantly, Bryant admits that he has just misjudged how bad the Rockies were and how down the farm system was. Because spring training had opened up after the lockout that happened right before the 2022 season started, Bryant felt like he needed to report to camp. So he picked the purple. And he goes, oh, shoot, I need to get there. That's what Bryant said in the Athletic story. There were other teams interested, but I didn't want to wait around. It was a completely different situation for a lot of free agents at the time. I guess I didn't do as much research into the prospects as I could. That one hurts just a little bit if you are a Colorado Rockies fan, for sure. I'm kind of like, it's a little bit of a punch to the gut. And if you're trying to get a fan base to love you, then I don't know this interview was exactly what was going to do that. So Chris Bryant, I'm just going to kind of wave my hand at you and say whatever at this point. We'll appreciate the people that actually enjoy being with the Colorado Rockies, I guess. Now, college football, this came out this morning, essentially, that their leaders are expected to approve the following changes coming in 2024. 1, helmet communication, much like the NFL, tablet usage on the sidelines and in halftime, again, like the NFL. And then they are also adding the 2-minute warnings, which personally, I'm totally here for. I like the fact that we're going to have the 2-minute warnings. I've always kind of hated it because it was different than the NFL, but I know a lot of people are critiquing it right now saying, oh, great, so college football just became the NFL. Well, a lot of these players obviously want to go on to the pros, so to be honest, it kind of does make sense. Now, one other thing, that this is going to be happening in the NFL and it's not going anywhere. It looks like the Tush Push will be around for another year. There's been a lot of talk about how it can be extremely dangerous, but NFL Executive VP of Football Operations Troy Vincent says the controversial short yardage play is not on the agenda for the NFL's competition committee this offseason. The play that's also known as the brotherly shove has become famous thanks to the Eagles, who ran it successfully 92.5% of the time last season. Vincent, a former Eagles player, told PFT Live, don't punish a team that strategically does it well. I was like, okay, well, fair enough. To be honest, if you're going to risk your quarterback or whoever it's going to be to do it, then hey, you can do it. And the Eagles obviously were really, really good at it last year. Now, this is interesting. You typically, when you get older, you get a little bit slower. You're not as fast. No, that's not with the GOAT. It looked like Tom Brady still got it. The 46-year-old NFL great recently filmed himself running a 40-yard dash like his rookie year. The clip shows Brady beating that time of 5.28 seconds twice. Not once, twice he did it just to prove a point. He ran the dash in 5.18 seconds and 5.12 seconds, improving his 24-year-old best. You can check out that clip on Tom Brady's social media pages. I think it's funny that he did that because obviously there was so much talk for his rookie year, and seeing that clip from the combine and etc., it just honestly makes me laugh. And so the fact that he was like, no, I'm going to prove to everybody that I can beat it. I love that he's doing it. And honestly, Tom Brady's staying pretty relevant right now. So hey, we'll see what he's like in the booth here shortly. Now, looking to women's basketball, Caitlyn Clark will be heading to the WNBA this year. On Thursday, the Iowa Star announced that she would be spending her last season with the Hawkeyes and then would be excited to be entering the 2024 WNBA draft. She is expected to be the #1 overall pick in the draft, not surprised, and that is currently held by the Indiana Fever. The 22-year-old Clark had the option of remaining in school for a 5th year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but she has decided to go pro, and honestly, I don't blame her. It'll be fascinating to see what her legacy ends up looking like. All right, that's going to do it for this Friday. Plenty of good stuff. Reading some of your comments real quick. I kind of find this one funny. We have Stidham when talking about the quarterbacks. Yes, because Jared Stidham will 100% lead the Denver Broncos to a Super Bowl. I do find it funny that Jared Stidham has just kind of disappeared in the conversation, right? It was all about the Russell Wilson, whatever it's going to be, and then it has completely shifted to the draft, and we act like he couldn't possibly be the bridge quarterback if they draft somebody like a JJ McCarthy. Maybe they do. I mean, they're going to be paying Jared Stidham regardless, so maybe he could be it. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see. Go Fever. Yes, Caitlyn Clark. She's continuing to be amazing, so it would not surprise me to see her go out there. Yes. Annan may be solving our backup goaltender question. A shout out. I'm totally with you. I was kind of impressed. Granted, the Blackhawks, like I said, they're not a very good team, but you absolutely love to see any sort of shutout, and you just need to have a solid backup goaltender. He seems to be gaining more and more confidence, so I'm here for Annan. Let's go. Plenty of other good stuff, you guys. So I appreciate you as always. Like I said, Cecil Lammy's going to be joining me live from the Combine at 12 p.m. Come hang out with us. I'm going to ask him all of the questions that he asked to the quarterbacks out there. So it should be a really good conversation. And otherwise, we will see you guys at 10 a.m. on Monday morning. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Get back to work, everybody, and we will see you later. Bye.
Taking you through your morning headlines. It's Denver Sports Daily.